I never imagined a single choice could change the way I saw myself, my trust in people, and even my faith in what was right and wrong. If you're listening, I want you to stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share is not just a story about a massage, it's a story about temptation, about crossing a line I never thought I would, and about living with the weight of a mistake that started so small, yet grew into something I could never undo. It all began on an evening like any other. I had been working hard for weeks, exhausted from long hours, feeling the stress buried deep in my body. My shoulders were tight, my back ached, and my head carried this constant heaviness that made every day harder. I wasn't looking for trouble, and I certainly wasn't searching for anything more than peace. At least, that's what I told myself. A friend of mine had mentioned a place quiet, private, tucked away in a corner of the city, a massage parlor. I had never been to one before, not like that. I thought of massages as something fancy people did in spas, but this was different. It wasn't bright or glamorous. It was small, dimly lit, with calming music playing faintly in the background. The smell of essential oils drifted through the air, warm and heavy, making me feel more relaxed the moment I stepped inside. The woman at the desk smiled at me softly, asked if it was my first time. I nodded, a little nervous, though I didn't know why. I was only here for relaxation, wasn't I? She led me to a room with low lighting and a bed covered neatly with fresh sheets. She told me to take my time, to lie down, to let go of all the stress I carried. I remember thinking how comforting her voice was. When I lay down, face pressed into the headrest, I told myself this was harmless, just a massage, just a way to ease the weight I carried on my shoulders, nothing more. But as her hands began to move across my back, firm and steady, something stirred inside me. At first, it was just relief, the kind that made me close my eyes and exhale, like I had been holding my breath for weeks. Her touch found knots in my muscles I didn't even know were there, and she pressed them out, slowly, gently. I felt my body giving in to the comfort, my thoughts quieting. Then something shifted. Her hands lingered a little longer. The way her fingertips trailed across my skin was different, not just professional, not just routine. It felt intentional. My heart began to beat faster, though I tried to ignore it. I told myself it was nothing, but the warmth of her touch seemed to spread deeper, and my body reacted before my mind could reason with it. That's when I felt it, something that shouldn't have been there, something hard pressing lightly against me. My eyes snapped open, though I couldn't see much from the position I was in. My heart pounded in my chest. A wave of confusion rushed over me, then realization, then something darker - curiosity. In that moment, I should have stopped it. I should have spoken up, should have pulled away, but I didn't. I froze, caught between shock and temptation. My mind was screaming, telling me this wasn't what I came here for, that this wasn't right. But another part of me, a weaker part, wanted to know what would happen if I didn't resist. The room felt smaller, the air heavier, her touch grew slower, more deliberate, and I could feel my control slipping. I told myself again and again that I could stop at any moment, that I was still in charge. But the truth was I wasn't. I was being pulled into something I never intended to happen. Yet, I didn't walk away. Guilt began creeping in, even before anything truly happened. I thought of the people in my life, the trust they placed in me, the promises I had made. I thought of the version of myself I always believed I was: faithful, loyal, strong enough to walk away from temptation. But in that dimly lit room, with the smell of oils clouding my senses and the weight of her hands guiding me deeper, I wasn't that person anymore. I was someone else, someone weaker. The massage became something else entirely, something I can't erase from my memory no matter how hard I try. I won't describe every detail, because this isn't about what happened, it's about what it did to me. The moment I allowed myself to go further, the moment I chose not to stop, something inside me broke. After it was over, I lay there in silence, staring at the floor, unable to move. The room no longer felt calming, it felt suffocating. I couldn't breathe. I felt sick. She smiled at me, gentle, like nothing unusual had happened. But to me, everything had changed. I left that place walking slower than I ever had. My hands trembled as I stepped into the night air. The city lights blurred around me, my chest heavy, my throat tight. It was as if the world kept moving, cars rushing by, people laughing. Yet I was frozen inside a storm. Only I could feel from that night forward. I carried the weight of what I had done. It wasn't just about betrayal, though that was heavy enough. It was about the way I had betrayed myself. I had always believed I was different, that I could resist, that I was strong, but when faced with temptation, I wasn't, and the truth of that haunted me. Days turned into weeks, and the memory stayed with me like a shadow that wouldn't leave. I couldn't look in the mirror the same way. I couldn't close my eyes without replaying that moment, asking myself why I didn't stop, why I didn't walk away. The hardest part was pretending nothing had happened, smiling, laughing, moving through life as if I wasn't carrying this secret inside me. Every time someone trusted me, every time someone looked at me with love or respect, I felt like a fraud, because they didn't know, they didn't see the truth. It wasn't just a massage, it was a choice that changed me, a weakness that exposed who I really was when no one else was watching. And that's something I'll live with for the rest of my life. So if you're listening right now, I want you to remember this. Temptation doesn't come dressed as danger. Sometimes it comes disguised as comfort, as relief, as something small and harmless. But the moment you let it in, it can grow into something that takes everything from you. And when it does, no amount of regret can take it back. Stay till the end of this video, because what I've told you isn't just my story, it's a warning, a reminder that every choice we make, even the smallest ones, can leave a mark we carry forever. Because I thought it was just a massage, until I felt something hard. And from that moment on, nothing in my life was ever the same. So choose wisely, because some mistakes can't be undone. Think twice before you cross a line you can't return from.